Hey guys, it's your girl T, and I want to go ahead and shout out at Cheryl's Renee on Twitter. She sent me an Advice TV show, this news article, and it's just really disturbing. And of course, it's coming from our first favorite state, Ratchet ass Florida. So what's going on now in Florida, you ask? What's going on is that we have two young women. They're 18 and 19 years old, and both of these women were found bloodied, naked, tied together with a zip tie and thrown off of an overpass down in Florida. This whole situation is just very disturbing. I want you guys to watch this news clip, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary.
We confirm 18-year-old Tjhisha was a local dancer.
Her mother told our sister station in Tampa the girls were best friends. Breaking team coverage continues with Action News' Catherine Varner. Catherine.
John and Tanika, we do know the two teenagers were from Tampa, and family members tell us they were very good friends. Just within the last hour, we've learned one of the girls was working as a stripper, and the two had been traveling back and forth from our area. Take a look at these brand new pictures of the two girls just into our newsroom in the last 45 minutes. Tjhisha Monique Ball is 18 years old, and her family tells us JSO called Ball's sister to identify piercings and tattoos on her body. We did find that Ball has a criminal history. She has a misdemeanor charge of driving without a license from Tampa in April of this year. Now, we also have a picture of 19-year-old Angelia Mangum. Ball's family tells us she was raised in foster care. We were digging through reports and found an arrest for burglary in December of last year in the Tampa area. The Tampa Police Department also tells us she was arrested twice for burglary as a juvenile. We are still waiting for those reports to be sent over to us. And of course, we are working to get more information from family members from our sister station in Tampa. I'll have that up for you on News at 6. Live.
Two women found murdered along this road on Jacksonville's north side. We've learned they were teens from Tampa. Now we're hearing from the family of one of these young women.
Two Tampa families devastated as a neighborhood here worries about crime in their community.
These two killings bring the number of women murdered here in Jacksonville to 4 in just the past week and a half. The bodies of 19-year-old Angelia Mangum and 18-year-old Tjhisha were found just before 2 o'clock this morning. They were along the side of Sisson Drive near the intersection of North Main Street and Clarke Road. Channel 4's Elizabeth Campbell is there. She's joining us live with an update on the investigation. Elizabeth?
Well, Tom, we are just recently hearing from one of the sisters of those teenagers in Tampa, and as you can imagine, both of these families are absolutely devastated.
The pain is incredible. You know what I'm saying? It's my baby sister, and I seen her come out. I raised her, so it's just like it hurts a lot.
Because this does mark the 4th death of a woman within just the past week and a half, it's raising a lot of concern about the safety of women in our area. And our crime and safety expert, Gil Smith, says one thing women can do is to keep something like this. It's just a portable taser that you can keep with you at all times. You can find these for under about $30. Now, where this happened this morning with these two bodies was actually underneath this overpass right down here on the ground. A driver was driving by, called 911, and because this is the 4th death of a woman in Jacksonville so recently, it has many people in this area very concerned.
Very quiet. You know, we all pretty much know each other in the neighborhood. It's like the only thing that really happens around here is, you know, it's all getting together and barbecuing and stuff. So, I mean, it's very unbelievable that happened right here by our house.
Shock and sadness after the bodies of two teenage women were found on the side of a north side road Thursday morning. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says they responded to Sisson Drive around 1:53 a.m. after a driver saw the bodies and called 911. The teens have been identified as 19-year-old Angelia Mangum and 18-year-old Tjhisha Ball. 4 women have now been murdered in Jacksonville in the past week and a half. A 50-year-old woman was found shot to death in a truck in Durkeeville on September 8th, and a 25-year-old woman was found dead behind a Northside church Sunday morning. Channel 4's crime and safety expert Gil Smith said women always need to be extra cautious when alone, especially when it's dark. He says criminals don't like distraction, so always make noise.
Anytime there's noise, loud noises, they don't want that. They're trying to run, they're trying to get away. And even if you're near your car, and if your car is locked, if you have a keychain with an alarm, push that alarm, make the car alarm go off.
He also says never give a stranger a ride, no matter what kind of story they give you. And it goes both ways. Smith says it's also never a smart idea to take a ride from a stranger.
You know, try to call someone, but if someone offers to take you somewhere, don't do it. It's just not, you know, Chances are nothing will happen, but you just never know. It could be that one occasion where someone is looking for an opportunity to do something.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has not released any information about possible suspects, but they're asking anyone with any information to call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous and could be eligible for a cash reward. That number is 1-866-845-TIPS. Reporting live from the north side, Elizabeth Campbell, Channel 4, the local station.
Elizabeth, the people you spoke to who live in that area, did they say that crime is unusual in that part of town?
Well, Tom, the people we spoke with said typically they don't hear about crime. They said it's an area they feel very safe in. The woman you heard from at the beginning of the story, she says she walks her dogs typically late at night, as late as midnight, and sometimes at 1 in the morning, doesn't think twice about it. She says they actually get together in this area and have barbecues, and she says it's just shocking, saddening, but she says she definitely is going to make sure she is extra cautious from now on, and she says she will not be walking her dogs alone out at night anymore.
Elizabeth, thank you. Elizabeth Campbell reporting to us live from the north side.
So you guys just watched the news clip, and a lot of things bother me with this case. One of the things that bothered me is the first news story that I saw about these girls was discussing their criminal record. My whole thing is this: what does their criminal record have to do with the fact that they were murdered, found together, tied, bloodied, and thrown off of an overpass? I don't understand why the news media is focusing on that so much. And another thing that really bothered me as well is the pictures that they're using of these girls. Now, I understand that these girls were dancers and strippers and everything else, but it's like they could have found better pictures to use. A few websites on the internet are also using their mugshots. So I just find it funny how these two women end up dead and they're assassinating their character even in death. You know, they're making them seem like they were just disposable because these women were strippers, because they worked in the industry, that their bodies and that their lives didn't matter, even though they have families and stuff like that who really cared about them. You know, why on earth would they go out their way to go dig up their mugshots? Why on earth would they go out their way to go onto their Facebook page and just, you know, dig out all these crazy pictures of them? You know, I just find the whole situation just really, really disturbing. But I just want a lot of girls to realize, because so many females think that, you know, being a stripper or being in the industry is the way to go. It's fast money. You know, I got to do is just take off my clothes. It's not going to be a big deal. But it is a big deal. And that it can come back to haunt you. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out that these girls went to go turn a trick, or they went to, you know, they went home with somebody from the club to go get paid extra money. Because like I said, I know a lot of girls who are strippers, who are still strippers, you know, that I'm cool with, and they've all had to do extras. They've all gone home with people, and, you know, and they've told me, you know, they've been very honest with me, and this is just part of that industry. You know, a lot of people make it seem like, okay, you're just stripping on stage and it's no big deal, but there's always a catch. There's always more to it, and when you need the money, sometimes people are desperate and they'll go home with people, and I think they might have went home with this man to maybe give him a private show, do a 2-on-1, you know, 2 girls for the price of 1, and he ended up murdering and killing them. You know, the whole situation is just really, really disturbing. I think people should take this as a lesson, and, you know, you need to really think twice before you get into certain industries. This is not the first time this has happened. Just a few months ago, another really popular stripper down in Atlanta, her body was found in a ditch. She was killed. She was like a mother of 2 or 3. So the whole situation is really sad. You know, these are really young girls, 18 and 19 years old. They had their whole life ahead of them, and it's kind of sad that they chose to go down that route. You know, but those are some of the decisions that people just choose in life, but we need to be careful. You can't be too trusting of anybody. And I also want to say, too, that a lot of folks are even saying that, you know, it could be the work of a serial killer. Other folks are saying that it could be the police. You know, the police could be involved, because we all know there's a police officer that was out here going around raping black women. You know, and a lot of police officers have zip ties because they use them if they don't have handcuffs. So some people are even hinting in the community and on, you know, the different forums and different message boards that the police might be involved. You know, I don't know who's involved. I don't know who did this to these young women, but I am upset by the way the media is portraying them and how they're so quick to talk about their criminal record and pull up their mugshots and everything else, as opposed to just talking about these 2 girls like they were murder victims, because that's what they were. So like I said, I just think people should take this as a lesson learned, but I do feel bad for the family. You know, these girls were obviously loved, and unfortunately for them, now they're gone. You know, just one wrong decision cost them both their lives. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire ratchet-ass situation that's coming from our first favorite state, ratchet-ass Florida. All right, deuces.